Mr. 057 back with another one. So today we're looking at none other than Minister Gayton Mckenzie. He's talking with the lady here, Chris, on Biz News. I actually want us to focus on the part where he talks about the DA and Jacob Zuma only. And if we look at this, I'm not going to start talking too much, but I actually want us to look at why he's clashing with the DA, the arrogance that we should be reminded of, which is a big problem in this GNU if they wanted to survive. And then also none other than Jacob Zuma and his capabilities, and knowing what he has said before. If you do not listen to what he's got to say, the MK will probably be the biggest or almost equal to the ANC the next coming elections. And let's listen. And
I think we started like a rocket. Started very well. I think we are facing our first headwinds as the government of national unity. I think that between the ANC and the DA, see people making mistakes. Like, for instance, the ANC would, for instance, use terms like erstwhile oppressors when referring to the DA, which I think is insulting, it's wrong. It needs to be called, they need to be called to order. The DA then also, I see they're making a critical mistake in wanting to not accept that we serve at the behest of the president. We serve as the GNU. We found certain laws there, and those laws will stand until it gets repealed. There's still some apartheid laws in government. You can't just unilaterally remove laws. You gotta repeal them first. There's a process you have to go through. So the foreign policy, for instance, which is the hot potatoes at the moment, the foreign policy of the ANC became the foreign policy of the government. And until we repeal it, it's still standing. Now you can't think of the foreign policy at your head today and tomorrow you got a different one. I don't agree with most of the foreign policy of South Africa. I don't agree with but I have to respect it because that's the current one. Until we change it. That's why we've created this cabinet. There's the cabinet committees. There is the clearinghouse, which is specifically our brainchild to sort out problems like this ones. Now, when leaders create the clearinghouse and then they go to the public, to play to the public gallery, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's fine now to play to the public gallery and call others water bottles for knowing who we serve under, number one. It's fine for that, but you know what? The enemies of the GNU, they are organizing themselves. They look at cracks. We should never show cracks as the GNU. We should sit behind closed doors. Look at the Bella.
And I like what he says here. As much as they disagree, why are they causing such a mayhem? I personally think they're trying to appeal to their voters to show them that, hey, don't think we're just agreeing with everything the DA says. Here, even the minister says that they don't agree with everything, but they serve at their behest and they shouldn't show cracks. What is difficult for the DA to avoid showing cracks? What is so difficult? Because now they're giving other parties, outsiders, the hope, the belief that something could come up. Do you think it's right? And always saying this thing of did not win outright. Do you think that's right? Because they also didn't win outright, and they weren't needed. They were just gladly accepted as some of those who are not so far left.
Best example for me. We were against the Bella Bill. I got a call from John Steenhuisen, and he asked me, what's your take on the Bella Bill? And I told him I'm against certain aspects, 4 and 5. He then said he's also against it. Freedom Sand Flash was against it. We then decided let us verbalize our disagreement. And the president, you know what it took of the ANC to listen to us and to come back to us and say, those points that you're unhappy about, we are going to withdraw them. There were a lot of people in the ANC that said, Cyril Ramaphosa is being controlled. While he took a leadership position in furthering the GNU. No ego. He was criticized, but he said, I'm going to take that decision. And the ANC took that decision, which I think they should be praised for. Now we are fighting and talking behind closed doors. And I think we should put South Africa first. Some of our leaders has not moved out of campaign mode or out of an opposition mode or out of being in government mode. This is the moment to put South Africa first.
Now, Gayton, many of the predictions you made pre the election have come true. So I think you are a good person to ask, what are your predictions for the 2026 municipal elections? All of them, especially on my show, even though you and I got a lot of flack for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think we are in trouble. And I say I think we are in serious trouble. I remember when I was on the Daily Maverick platform with John Steenhuisen, Sabisa, in Mashaba. The question was asked by Stephen Grootes, what do you think about MK and Zuma's chances? All of them on that stage said, he's not a threat. He's not a threat.
Wash. Now that was a statement that even I personally did not believe. But it was that time when the polls and the numbers were coming in as people had just finished voting. Started to see for MK, are you this danger gevaar? It was so dangerous and so surprising to everybody. They had outperformed everybody except the DA and the ANC. Who would have thought? Saying that they are only a Zuma faction. And that video where the minister Sabisa, Steenhuisen, and the Action SA guy, Herman Mashaba, had said that, I could be wrong about Herman Mashaba, but yeah, they said that he's a nobody. He's not to be feared. They think that people go according to mainstream media. They think people go according to mainstream media. And there's one thing about the black population mostly, or human nature overall. If you keep picking on somebody, and we see that you keep picking on this person, a time will come where people will feel the need to stand up for this person. And I think that also highlights a bit of that. Why? Why does the mainstream media think that every day when they're bashing Jacob Zuma and saying he's a nobody, to automatically apply to the masses? Why do they think it will automatically apply to the masses? The masses don't subscribe to that. They have their own belief. They believe in their own. And they fight for their own. They fight for their own. Especially if they think that he's unjustly being targeted. They don't believe what the mainstream media says. And I want us to listen to what he says is going to happen now if they think or if they undermine Jacob Zuma. And I say this because I wanna that's why I also played the first part in how he was underestimated and in how there is no unity being displayed on the forefront. And this plays a huge role to people. People look and they're like, oh, is this how things are? These ones keep talking a lot on something that I disagree on. These ones keep saying this. These ones, These people are not united. We need a united front. And the masses at the bottom down there, they don't care about the markets that the Democratic Alliance always talk about. They don't care about that so-called continuity, the markets, stability. They don't see that. They want somebody who talks for them and doesn't go around talking about Ukraine visas, talking about being against NHI, as much as they kind of understand, but they want the best. But they also are at focus. They don't hold their own government to account. They do not. They do not. But then the recent elections kind of show that some are starting to hold them to account with their vote, with not showing up to the voting polls.
Gayton said to Stephen Fruitus, the tapes are there. I said, they are all lying. They are not living in reality. Zuma is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Zuma is going to come in like a tornado. Well, the rest is history. Zuma has shown us. Now, if you think Zuma has come through like a tornado, he's going to come through in 2026 like a tsunami. Zuma is working day and night. Now, people that hate Zuma don't want to hear this, but we must be realistic about it. Zuma is bringing in, whether you call them state capture guys, whether you call them criminals, he's bringing people in with a following. And that's what politics is about. It's about the following. And Zuma is pulling everyone in. He had a coup. To bring in Floyd Chivambo. That brains. We all know Zuma is, we can see how he's always with Floyd. Zuma is grooming Floyd. So people that say Zuma's old, he knows he's old. But while the ANC is still busy with 2027, instead of concentrating on 2026.
I want you to listen to this. Zuma is grooming Floyd. A lot of time, Gayton Mckenzie says stuff, and some people don't take it to account. I also didn't take it to account. But I remember leading to the elections, he started making these interviews here with Chris and Alec, the other guy. And all of these predictions began to come true. And I started to listen. I'm like, hold on a minute. These predictions started to come true. So I want to challenge you and say, do you believe what he's saying, or do you not believe it? And if you do not, what do you believe? Say it on the comment section. Do you believe he's grooming Floyd? Do you think Floyd knows in the long run he could possibly be the leader of the MK? As much as the Zulu people, I know people don't like to say this or hear this, they don't like to support someone who's not one of their own. That's what I believe. But if Gayton Mckenzie says it, I start to say, hold on a minute. Maybe it isn't as much as I thought. It is like he's got this communication with Jacob Zuma. Because every time on Jacob Zuma, he tends to be spot on. He tends to be spot on. Let's see.
The ANC is busy lobbying who must take positions. If they are not careful, Zuma is going to become the biggest party. And the GNU is the only thing that can stop Zuma, not the ANC. The GNU. If the GNU produces, if the GNU does well, if the GNU keeps to their promises and they change South Africa for the better, people will then say, but why do you change? You don't change a winning model. But if the GNU bickers and the GNU wants to play to the gallery and the GNU partners are fighting for each other, that's a gift to Zuma. Whether you like Zuma or whatever, Zuma got right what the ANC and all of us failed to get right. He managed to basically half destroy the EFF. The ANC couldn't. Zuma, that thing is finished, called EFF. I mean, like, it's finished. Let me tell you, they can talk. There's no ideology left. It's just insults that's left there. The people, the thinkers that's left, the thinkers that remain, I'm told confidentially, they're also on their way out. So I'm saying to you that the DA and the ANC should stop put party first and should put
He says the thinkers are on their way out. I wanted to stop it here, but we will continue to monitor this, and I will come back with a counter video once others leave. But what do you think? Do you think more leaders are leaving? I believe so. But which are those leaders? Those are not leaders like Voyani Pambo, because he's looking like a lackey, always behind Malema there, like a little chihuahua, you know. And also your Tambos, who don't sound like they have a brain cell that works. But let's see how this continues to go. Do you believe that more will leave? Do you believe that Floyd Shivambu is next in line? That Zuma is grooming him? And do you believe that the GNU are the only one that can stop the Mkhonto Wesizwe party? Personally, 2 weeks ago, I was approached by the Mkhonto Wesizwe members in my ward where I stay. All these members are previous ANC members of the very same branch that I also used to be back in about 2017, 18, 16, 17, 18. I used to be one of the ANC members with these very same members who approached me. All of them are now Mkhonto Wesizwe. So I come and say to you, being from the Free State, where it is not as Zulu dominated, nah? It's not Zulu dominated. People are beginning to leave the ANC. In your words, tell me, are people beginning to leave the ANC, especially if you are vigilant and seeing what's happening around you? Talk to the people, let's engage. But the MK is slowly destroying the EFF and the ANC. And about the ANC, I won't talk about it. I'll make another video on that, about their membership. Please follow. I will definitely follow up with another video on that 24 hours from now. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and we're going to be doing more of these. We're just going to be talking and listening to some of the interviews and doing reaction. Danko, Mr. 057.
You went to Russia with
Can I
an oil
answer
deal.
your questions? So I'm saying to you, anybody that's not worried about Jacob Zuma has not been paying attention, or they're playing to the gallery. Jacob Zuma keeps people, not in this gallery I see, but at home. They are strategizing how can they stop this person called Jacob Zuma. He's filling up places wherever he goes. Jacob Zuma is the wrecking ball of this coming election. So I'm not going to sit here and agree that Jacob Zuma is not a threat. They are all worried about Jacob Zuma. They're just telling you now to be clapped here for, they're not worried about Jacob Zuma. Number one. Number two, you see, we must always be honest. I was hearing now the issue that the leader of the DA says the reason why he works with Action SA is because he's got the unwavering commitment to removing the ANC. Where was that unwavering commitment when Action SA came to us to ask us to join the Moonshot Pact? Where was that commitment? And he told them he will never work with the PA. So he mustn't come here today and lie and say I've got an unwavering commitment. The reason why he doesn't want the PA, and it has been every second person in this audience, and this thing is truth time. Every second person in this audience know the PA is unreliable, which is a lie.